Good afternoon to you. I want to introduce to you an important subject. I have called it Teen Tones and Visionary Parents. How you are going to manage your teens who are into a rumble. And then I want to get on to what the part dad plays in a child's competence and his confidence and certainty. And the part the mother plays in the child's 3A Fitch rating, affirmation, and what is important for him in the inside. So let's get on with the first slide. I'm Dr. Lalith Mendis. I have done this research for some length of time and have published a seminar with the, which was a SLMA seminar, Sri Lanka Medical Association seminar on the subject. Now, start on the basis that your son and your daughter are products of your social and spiritual style. So helping the entitlement kid means they may behave as if you have to do things for them. So this is a different generation and they take it for granted it must be done. Thank you will be a little not coming forth too much. Demanding maybe you may hear more, but you must not be ruffled. You must help the entitlement kid to get over from demand to identifying his supply, get on from problems to identifying his solution. And the way to go is you appreciate him and he gives a thank you. So number 2 is take the offense out of your voice when you're dealing with them. Because if you keep offense in your voice, they're all ready for a rumble. So come for a fight is not a good way to speak to your child. You must be able to do the mistake management. I have written a couple of books on them. Mistake management, Mom, Dad, and Me. And my books are available with Vijitayapa Bookshop, also with Sarasavi Bookshop and our own Brookside Bookshop. You can also contact me on, send me a WhatsApp to 076 +94 76 313 4800 that you may get more understanding into the topic, because in my practice, I have parents all the time asking to see me with a son or daughter, usually 12, 13, 14. Some have been even 20, 21. They are completely digitally addicted. They are refusing to pursue their future studies because they are too engrossed online. Prevention is better than cure. To be safe is better than sorry. So let's do this together, because they think we can prescribe a tablet. The drugs don't work in this situation. It is empathy and parents owning the problem that will work in this situation. So I want to give a good hope to parents that you can do it. And it is you who will be the therapist, not a doctor. This is important to understand. Third point is digital screen makes them think. So take the offense out of your voice. A little penitence may be needed, that you also saying, son, I'm sorry it happened like this. He may be like you in the demand and the manner of his operation. The digital screen makes them think whiz kid, brilliant, bright. They can't work out something because it should be at the touch of a button. The screen is at the touch of a button. Human beings are not at the touch of a button. So this generation has got to learn this. So you have to help them. You have to reduce screen time to reduce their megalomania. Otherwise, the screen is perfect. So everything has to be perfect. This is not good. Shoes are not good. So they go on a grumble. But hold your peace and coach them through this time. You can't command them through this time. Of course, you can't use the rod for this, because this is a spin-off of your own lifestyle, parents, that you relegated the kid to the screen rather than time with you. So penitence is due on our part, and it's never too late to start now. So point number 4, start with Fitch A3 rating, affirmation, accreditation, approval. That is, you affirm him in the right things and give him credit for that. Then in the other things, you set a rating saying, son, this is so far so good. This is not good enough. This needs to improve. So you always use the language improve. Don't use the language wrong. You didn't get it right. You can't use words like that where they react very badly to harsh words. They respond well to the tone of improvement you carry. And that gives them hope, and that because you are on test with them. That's the nature of the 12-year-old, 13-year-old, 14-year-old. They put you on test. They are the examiners and they set questions. My next topic is questions. But they set the question paper. Every time they are asking you something, they just want to know whether you know as much as they know. Because on the screen and through other means, they have picked up a lot of information and so on. So the next slide, very nice slide presentation. Work with him at the point of his need. You can't shout or you have to teach and coach, assign a time for home chores, small home chores, morning, noon and evening. I have often said, sit with them and do the timetable for them every morning. They may know it, but it's an exercise for dad to set them the timeline and the spear line, how their day will run for 12 hours, maybe from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Give them that hope that their day can run well, and you have marked it out for them. So they'll appreciate that, and add to that home chores because it is important for them to participate in home life. Otherwise, they are always on the screen and they get alienated from reality. So you always think of onward progress and the improvement rather than punishing them for something that has happened in the past. They don't take kindly to it because their dopamine drive is always setting them forward. Their last digital program is pushing them already from behind. That's how dopamine works. This is the important thing about getting them to their default mode network where dopamine works for 45 minutes, serotonin works for 15 minutes. Dopamine says, go, go, go. Something of the same thing, do some more. That's the addictive pattern of digital games and fast cartoons and so on. But how our Good Shepherd has designed us is to work with salience and focus to an aim for 45 minutes. And then there's a check back for 15 minutes. That's the serotonin check back. What serotonin does is look back, helps the child or helps the adult to look back for improvement. Did I get this right? How can I improve? So it's not only a curricular thing, not only that you look back and see whether how you should study better, you look back and see how you can improve it better. This is the importance of serotonin having its action in the tracts of the prefrontal cortex to keep the child or the adult empathic and executive and checking back, how well can I do this? How can I improve? That's the language you must adopt with them. So any course correction is for future improvement. They don't like to go too much back in time and put things right. They think it's retrograde. They think it is retardation. So if you talk to them, repent, they will reset. You have to talk to them, how can we improve this? In it, you have to allow them to feel through, let serotonin work through and check inside them, how can I improve? As you know, the empathic neurochemical transmitters are oxytocin that helps you to communicate, and that's highest when you're eating. So at eating time, family sitting together and eating, thank you to God. So I always say, thank you for food provision, thank you for food preparation, thank you for food participation, thank you for food fellowship. So that's the way to teach them gratitude. And at that time, no correction at all, because it's a good oxytocin time. You teach at that time the things they like to hear, things they like for their improvement, good goal setting, forward movement. Many parents make the mistake of trying to be tough with them during food time. Food time is a happy time. It's not a tough time. And we remember our food table long after we leave home. We remember how mom did this, dad did this. So more food you make and make available at home on the table, more bonhomie and oxytocin you have in your kid's brain to work with. Then GABA is the hormone of empathy, neurochemical transmitter of empathy. I should have called it the hormone. GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. That's best when child is falling asleep. After food, falling asleep time. GABA is a very important component. That's the time they feel mea culpa, it is strong. And that's the time they're available for you to say, okay, how shall we get it better, and so on. So serotonin, GABA, and oxytocin work for, what shall I say, reformation of heart also. These are chemical neurotransmitters, but man is not only chemistry of the brain, man is spirit, man is conscience, man is emotion, and then has intellect, and then of course the big brain for thoughts and emotions and all that. So point number 6, mark your goal for what your child should become, rather than saying what is wrong. As I said, forward pitching. This is the goal we like to achieve. Speak to them like that. They are not happy to go back too much in time. You need to understand this generation. More you try to go back and put wrongs right, more they resist you and consider you their enemy. More you try to pitch forward and say, how do we improve your hour, the better they will respond to. Point number 7, Rome is not made in a day. Work long-term, daily in small doses. And you might have to keep a journal on your child's responses. If not, he will develop anorexia and nausea for your words. Anorexia is no appetite. So don't go on long meandering rigmaroles and don't talk rhetoric. Speak to them short, definitive statements, which they will bite, eat, and feel happy for. Point number 8, Dad, you're the physician, you're the therapist, you must heal yourself also in the process, and you can't relegate this to mom, because mistake management is dad's responsibility. Laying the track forward is dad's responsibility. Keeping what is known happening is mom's responsibility. So mom makes it daily safe. Dad gives the boundaries, how to climb over the fence, how to overcome problems, and a daughter or son with whom dad has worked on will be confident about their competence to take on the world. The mom makes it internally safe, and they, for intimacy and for loving relationships, they'll be inside confident. But dad makes them work competent, and to overcome the field and overcome the outside, that is dad's responsibility. Now we get on to the subject of questions, I think. Next slide. As I said, if you need more clips or send me questions, it helps me in my talks. Please send it to +94 76 313 4800. Also, you can download my app free of charge. It's called Golden Nuggets. It's available on Google as well as on App Store. Golden Nuggets. Now, this is a little topic. Questions, when they ask questions, trade off answers with access. So, dad and mom, you have to be smart in the things they are going to ask you. You also have to read up. But they are very good on information. And sometimes this generation fills up lack of your time with information to stumble you. So don't allow a lack, give more engagement time. Many 35-year-olds think that they are much better than the oldies, and oldies are irrelevant, they think. Many think they must restructure work and make, then the 25-year-olds think work must be structured like holiday. They're all the time interested in quickly doing a project, earning some money and going on holiday. Then the 12 to 15-year-olds, I call them trillennials. seeking thrills, they think virtual is more real than real. So they are on the screen reality, their world is in the real, the influences, the footballers, the entertainers, anything. You know what influences are like. So we had to factor all this when they ask questions. So entertain questions from them. You can't shut them out. You can't say shut up. And you can't say I will answer it later. Answer to the best of your ability and say I will research on this. It is important. And I have found grandparents have a great role in these days to answer the questions and supply them a platform for interaction. That's why they're asking questions. They can get quite isolated with the screen. When they come out of the screen, the way they say I need relationship is asking questions. So don't get annoyed about their questions. Give them reasonable answers. You are trading your answers with access into their heart and into their brain. Answering question is the way to conquer, or what shall I say, disciple or coach this nation. Answer their questions. Please don't think those questions are irrelevant. They're asking questions to enter your world from their vantage point, from what they think is important, and they land the question on you. Now, in order to keep your child's company, you need to be able to answer those questions. So wisely answer their questions for them to know that is still relevant. Otherwise, they will say you are a Jurassic Park dinosaur, you don't know any of these things. So be relevant in the area that the child is, not that they are challenging you, they want you to be in their world on their terms. So purchase that. That's why I said trade-off. Answers with access, they want you to be in their world on their terms. Don't fight it. And don't fight to get them to be in your world on your terms. You will fail, where they are quite ready for a rumble. So wisely answer their questions for them to know that is still relevant. They ask questions to put you on the hot spot. And they might feel great that you did not know, and they like to lecture to you. They like to give you information. And so listen to all that, but be able to answer some questions also. That be their hero with 40 answers. And if you don't know, you just say, don't know, darling, you tell me. And they'll be very happy to tell you all about who took the chickenpox vaccine to Alaska, and tidbits of tremendous amount of knowledge they have, yes. Or the Second World War, different things. They will have lots of knowledge, yes. I have a living laboratory with me at home because I have two grandchildren, and they supply enough lab material for me to know how to address this generation. Yes, can we get on to the next slide? You have to enter their interests and their world through their questions. You have to educate yourself in cricket or whatever, or football, in order to answer questions or what they think is important, in order for them to consider your questions and your advice on what really is long lasting. So it's a trade-off. Trade-off answers with access. Answer one question and ask for a piece of knowledge. That's the way to go. Put them also in a bit of a spot, saying, now, what do you think about this? What do you know about this? Before you answer the next question, which question will set them on their future right? And then they also get a goal from you. You answer their question and they are encouraged to answer your question. Get them into your perspective of thinking it is possible. But it needs strategic planning, the way you handle them will make you, you become their friend again, you enter their life again. All that is possible, but it has to be done with tact and not with power. You know, you can't do it with raw power with this generation as our parents did with our generation. Yes, next one. When your boy rumbles at home, watch that boy. It may be a girl, but this is, I think, more common with boys because testosterone and dopamine is a fierce combination, very powerful. So you need to When your boy rumbles at home but is timid to outsiders, rude to the sibling, and get him to slowly repeat these statements. Not that you get him to repeat all 10 at once, but here are the things he needs to get. Why is your boy rumbling at home and grumbling at home and growling at home, and is quite backward in meeting the outside challenges? First symptom is that father needs more time with the son. That is my first suggestion when the situation is like that. So here are some things to attend on. So my confessions that I'm asking you to work out with them. I'm not saying say these things 1 to 10. I'm saying this is the basis of why he's rumbling while very ferociously at home and quite meek and timid outside. So here are the things to work out with him. I like myself and I'm happy about what I do well. So you have to constantly look out of them. Their strengths, because they are an overreacting generation, they may have 7 strengths and 3 weaknesses, and they will concentrate on the 3 weaknesses. That is an amygdala behavior, hippocampus hypothalamus bottom-up regulation behavior by being too much on the screen. So but that's why you have to get them off the screen as much as possible, so that prefrontal cortex, top-down regulation gives them foresight how to do the next step. The amygdala behavior is all the time taking back them into their memories, which drive them forward, and they don't realize these are all things they are doing. That's the problem. Then here is another confession. I can try to improve what I did not do too well. Now, I'm suggesting a time will come, you can get him to repeat it. But this is more for dad to implement how you respond, how you get your boy back into track. I can try to improve what I did not do too well. So you put that into it. I am thankful for what my parents have provided. That's the thing to work for. So a thank you, getting a thank you from them is very therapeutic for them. You may think you desperately need it. Yes, of course, we adults also need thank yous and appreciation. But always consider the child's need more than our own need, so that they will get a chance at doing their next year better than they have done the last year. I can try to improve what I did not do too well. Otherwise, they think what they do is always right and that's it. No. They don't know, they don't need to improve, because their information overload makes them think they know all things. Then makes them think all they do is right. So the fourth one, I am thankful for what my parents have provided. That is also a thing that you have to get them to think through. It must come out of them, but you are working at it. I am valuable to my parents and to my sibling, because when people are valuable, they behave better. If you constantly get them to think, I don't know what you are doing, you are not worth the investment, then they'll become worse. So never use that language. I am valuable to my parents and my siblings. Next one. I am thankful for my dad. I like to receive instruction from him. I remember many happy times of playing with dad. So you can see these good confessions are also dad tuition. Dad to understand you achieve more with them when you play with them rather than when you lecture to them. So find playing time. Playing, that oxytocin drive and playing gets a lot of good social communication medium platform in them. My mom's cooking is the best. So try to prove it, mom, that we know all men, the gateway to their brain is through their tummy. That's how it works, young or old. So my mom's cooking is the best is anytime the best way of entry to keep the heart warm, keep the heart changed. They endlessly look for food. So keep a secret larder where you only know. And when you supply something nice they like, oh, they reform immediately. So play that card well. I look forward to every mealtime. So make every mealtime precious. Assign the time. Don't miss it. Give it priority. Every holiday and every weekend, you must be home for all 3 meals, Dad. And don't try fantastic holidays outside. Try the fantastic holidays inside your home. I mean, it's always nice to go on holiday to some nice place, but make every weekend the best holiday ever that your kids remember. That's very important, yes. I look forward to every mealtime. I'm thankful for my good teachers and school because they often have in their mouth stupid, useless, I don't know, and they criticize teachers and whatnot. So don't get put off by it. Engage. Don't agree with it, of course. Don't get scared, but don't start a fight back with them. I'm thankful for my good teachers and school, and God is good to our family. Get that wholesome corporate confession from them. They are not alone. For the entire family, God has done well. Next, I'm taking the subject of about my common subject, please parent reduce digital screen, because many character traits come out of this digital screen indulgence. Before 2.5 years, I would say 3 years, no screen at all, because screen scrambles speech. So the American Pediatric Association, who got onto this first, has prohibited screen or medical recommendation, no screen at all before the age of 3. So there you can't make the screen the digital nanny. Screen reduces 3D touch, and 3D touch on building blocks or dolls or whatever is what produces the best brain wiring. Screen reduces spatial cells, which makes brain brilliant. That's why we give shapes to children. Now, if the child is on the screen is smart, of course we know, and the child is getting stupid. So give the child things that he can work his fingers over. All grip is very good. And the screen disturbs sleep and ruins memory. And in good deep sleep, many new neurons are born, and neural circuits are made in good deep sleep and deep thought. So music all the time in the ear removes that the time of deep thought with which, and the digital screen all the time going on removes the deep thought time, deep sleep time, deep thought time, which enhances brain brilliance. Please remember that. Point number 7, inattention, shallow and short attention span is the problem with the screen. Longer the attention span, deeper the attention depth, and higher the attention concentration. That is how complex the thing the child can absorb in one go is what makes brain brilliant, and the screen works against all this. Inattention, shallow and short attention span causes multidirectional firing of neurons, which is like overflooding RAM memory. Yes, the multidirectional firing of neurons is digital. It's a digital stress. Yes. Point number 6, keeping the brain bright. Digital screen activity also increases cortisol secretion, which is not good, which can cause fat distribution, can precipitate diabetes. So the digital screen provokes the adrenocortical axis too much, which has medical consequences. I have a separate long list of things on the medical consequences of the digital screen. So why I'm so keen on this, you know, in my younger days, I did not believe in God and brain was everything. And then I found, at that time there was no screen, but I found the knowledge addiction and having no heart interaction, while my brain got brilliant in my nation, I became first in the island in the examination qualifying me to enter the medical faculty, Colombo Medical Faculty. Also in the Colombo Medical Faculty, every batch I was batch top. So my brain was brilliant, my heart was shrinking. That's the time at which I began to ask some questions, playing chess with a friend, and I came to know that life has a good shepherd, and that good shepherd has given us brain and a heart. I did not know a thing called a heart. I only knew a thing called a brain and how to get that brain stuffed with all kinds of information. So I would read dictionaries and encyclopedias just to joy. Knowledge was great joy, and accumulation of knowledge was very easy. I can remember facts and figures, just like water, drinking water. But it began to cloud my heart, and I'm very thankful Good Shepherd came into my life and my perspectives changed. So I'm very keen on getting this generation brain bright, but heart warm. That they should have brilliant brains, but their spirit should not wither. Their personality should not get squinted, so to say, or distorted because of the effect of the screen. So from 2013, I have been researching this. I have submitted this seminar to the Sri Lanka Medical Association, and it is available on the website of College of General Practitioners. Because it's an academic subject, I'm making it available for parents and teachers and other carers to know the effects of the digital screen. So e-learning, then point number 8, point number 7, disturbed appetite also results from too much digitization. They'll want only food and junk food and just snacking, because they have the stimulants their brain craves for. They learn red-colored dyed drinks keep them digitally high. So some research have called it digital cocaine, or some have called it electronic cocaine, because the effect of the screen on the dopamine receptors is just like that of cocaine. So it's not a joke. I have seen kids coming completely out of control, others suicidal. So we have innovated empathic motor therapy in our center, which is in Borella. So if you send WhatsApp to +94 or 076 313 4800, I do see children with this problem with parents. And we have this empathic motor therapy center to get their brain wiring right through grip and rope thrill sports. I call it GARTS, G-A-R-T-S, grip and rope thrill sport. So disturbed dopamine salience and serotonin satiety. What dopamine works for is focus. It's called salience, and serotonin works for satiety. What happens is when dopamine works all the time, the child does not get a chance, even the adult does not get a chance to look back, check back, did I do it well? You assume you have done it well, you become incorrigible. You don't want to correct anything. You assume you have got it right. Nobody else needs to tell me. That is because serotonin has no time to work out satisfaction. Child is in a constant grumble, dissatisfied mode, hard to please. All that comes from the screen. Point number 9, e-learning does not make brain brilliant, bottom-up regulation rather than top-down. So as you keep more on the screen, the top-down is executive, empathic, think and reflect. Bottom-up is amygdala, hippocampus. Just keep doing what is driving you in the past hour or past week, which is not good at all. So smart screen dumps down the imagination. The screen is smart, but it dumps down imagination and thought formation of the child. Now, the next slide, I'm going to concentrate on the parent. So hang on, give 2 seconds and we get on to the next slide. This is the potential of early communication development. You can see the slide. The bottom line is a child who has not had much opportunity, and his fulfillment of human potential is quite low. So early starting of giving a child adequate bondage, empathy, opportunity is very important. So when a child misses the first 4 years of best age input, then catch up is quite difficult. So give your child the best in the early communications development. Next one, or early cultural development, yes. Next slide. If you need any of these slides, just send a request to the WhatsApp number 076-313-4800. Next slide. Yes. Why is there a bottom line? Because what you don't get right at a certain age will be hard to catch up in the next. Children need to have adequate nutrition. They need to have health care, water, sanitation, opportunity to learn, access and quality, and they are responsive to caregiving from a caring adult. All that goes on to building the child. So when children are in extreme poverty, chronic stress, violent conflict, neglect, they go on the bottom line. When the things are right, they hit the top line. Yes, next slide. I'm using the slide presentation by Dr. Kasi Constance, who is the founder of World Needs a Father institution. Now, this is a complicated graph. It looks complicated, but it's quite easy to understand. On the x-axis are the years. On the y-axis, there are curves that peak early. Can you see? There are a couple of curves or graphs that peak by the time of 2 years. So during those first 2 years, child needs to get that attention in the time of the first 2 years. Conceptualization. So this is why sometimes they say mother's brain decides the IQ, because in the first 2 years, it's the mother who's mostly with the child and conceptualizing. So moms, every hour with your child, have a plan what to do. You do infant-directed speech, but it has to be on meaningful thing. Infant-directed speech is ideas that you roll your tongue and speak to the child like in a way the child will understand, but you must speak sense and concepts. And then you will find, as I can send this graph to you if you send me, then you will find emotional control comes very early. And again, mom is greatly influential in that emotional control. Then peer social skills develop at peak at 3. So you can see how important it is to get kids to interact with others. So this is why before one child is 3 years old, if you have the other one coming, it helps in the child's growing together. Leaving 1 year is a good thing, but within 3 years, before 3 years to having another child is also a good thing. If not, you have to supply a lot of interaction. Then the language skills, you can see learning language is best done within the first 4 years. And it's a God thing. God has given skill to every child to learn 2 languages. Depending on your nation, you can choose the 2 languages and they can learn it. And you don't have to say this is English and this is Sinhala or Tamil. They learn it at once because phonemes and grammar all. And the child will speak the 2 languages, hearing from you and the siblings. Digital screen can not teach language. So many of these e-learning programs for early childhood has no basis in research. In fact, they will dumb down your child. So these are this graph I mostly wanted to show you because there's a window of opportunity very early in the first 4 years. So mom and dad, mom somehow get dad to get into this. Please teach him that his best career is not in the corporate. His best career is investing early in the children. Yes, that is so important. And when you're transitioning from success to significance at the age of 43, your child will be probably about 15, and that has to be your best investment, maximum investment. As you know, transitioning from success to significance, we becoming reproducing leaders. You know, we are leaders by our role. So dad, you became a leader because of the role of dad, and that you qualified because you married. So that role is very important in marriage to get ready to be dad. So that's the role. Then you build relationships. Then you look for results. Then you reproduce yourself. Then you become a reputed leader. This is there's a leadership scale by John Maxwell. This is true for fathering and mothering also. Don't neglect that field of leadership, because that's going to be a lifelong investment where you have to invest more than anybody else. Yes, next slide. I think I have spoken for quite a long time today. I should be stopping now. It's almost 40 minutes. Children from fatherless homes are more likely to be poor, get involved in drug and alcohol abuse, suffer loss of school, suffer from health and emotional problems. So that's quite a big subject. I'm going to stop here and encourage you to get to know the Good Shepherd, who make us better dads and moms, who help in marriage. The definition of marriage is two people who give their utmost for each other's growth. If you are giving your utmost for something else, like your corporate, your profession, your studies, then you are, in a sense, missed the marriage. I'll define marriage again. Marriage is a company in which the two people involved are giving their utmost for each other's growth. If you are not giving your utmost for each other's growth, but for something else, then it's abuse of the marriage covenant. So that's a strong statement. So may these things help you. And our Good Shepherd has promised us that he will take us to green pastures. I want to tell you that I was an atheist till I got into medical faculty. Just before getting into the faculty of medicine, that I got to know the Good Shepherd. And that helped my paths. He promises that he has paths that don't go crooked. Then he promises he takes us to the next waterhole and to the next prosperity and to the next prosperity. Then he says he prepares our table, the portion of our life. How many will sit at our table, and whether we are junior, senior, or middle in that table, our place, our proportion, and the people with whom we do life. There is a divine destiny in all this, and we need to connect with our Good Shepherd for the best results in our life. Thank you for listening. Remember our WhatsApp number for any queries, +94 76 313 4800. And also please remember my app, Dr. Lalith Mendis, Golden Nuggets. Thank you for listening.